Welcome to Let Them See You, the podcast that honors educators, the everyday heroes shaping futures with courage and heart. I'm your host, Sarah Hightower. This is your space to recharge, find joy, and embrace your power. Welcome. Episode number 7, lucky number 7. We are here to talk about leading from where you are. Lead from where you are. There is an important thing that you need to remember, which is it does not matter what your title is. You can be a leader. So we're diving into it today. But first, a quick chat. I am wondering about this AI. Lots of people that I know, almost everybody that I know has discussed the use of AI, especially Chat GPT. That's the main one that everybody kind of knows. But of course, I've heard of Claude and Microsoft Copilot and lots of others, but those are the top 3 that come to mind. Chat GPT is probably used the most. I would say that digging into the different GPTs, I guess, that they have is interesting. Like if I want some information on psychology and I don't want to just use the regular Chat GPT, I might click into the one that pulls from psychological journals or something like that to provide me an answer. It's really interesting. But I also use Chat GPT to build like a meal plan or to build a workout plan. I like to run a lot, but I also want to tone up. So what I found when doing a little digging is that I can run just fine. I don't have to run as much though if I want to tone up. I need to lift more weights and I need to eat more protein. And that is something that I'm trying to incorporate. So thanks to ChatGPT, I've built a plan that tells me when I'm supposed to lift and how I'm supposed to lift and when I'm supposed to run. And that's helpful. There are some people that I've heard, though, that have a healthy fear, I would say, of AI. They feel like that it could be something detrimental to society. There, of course, are people that misuse it. There's people falling in love with the AIs. There's some strange stuff happening out there. But if you use it to your advantage in a way that just helps you think smarter and move smarter rather than change your life in a negative way, then it should be fine. It's just weird things that can happen if you use artificial intelligence to take the place of an actual human being. People are able to provide feelings to other people that artificial intelligence can't. So I think it's important that now more than ever that we learn to connect with one another on a personal level so that we can advance ourselves. That is part of the reason why I brought up AI is because leadership lends itself to personal connection. And that personal connection can grow both the leader and the person they're trying to help be a leader. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I just thought it was crazy and interesting to hear some of the ways that people are using AI. I try to use it in ways that just help me work smarter. I'm a hard worker, but sometimes I don't work smart. And so I use AI to help me do that. Work smarter, not harder. All right, moving right into our episode for today. We are first going to redefine leadership. Leadership, according to John C. Maxwell, is more disposition than position. It's more disposition than position. That means the way you carry yourself, the way you interact with others, the way you respond to certain situations is more so leadership than what your actual title is. You can be anything in this world. You can be the custodian and have more leadership qualities and more leadership disposition than the person at the top. I said it. I have made friends with everyone in the building, everywhere that I've ever worked, because I have taken something from each person and implemented it into the way that I live my life. not everything, but the things that I pick out are specific to the leadership that I see in them. And I see it in almost everybody that I meet. I have taught myself to pick up on it. And the types of things that I pick up on in other people, I'm now at a point in life where I'm comfortable telling them that I've picked up on it. Other people have told me before, like, hey, this is a quality that you have, and I think you should hone it, and it would help you grow. It wasn't until somebody said that to me that I actually grew and felt like I could be a leader. Someone told me that they saw it in me, and I had to believe it, and then I had to grow it. That's the way I feel about connecting with other people. I see it in them, and then I start telling them that I see it in them in hopes that they will take that and run with it. Oftentimes, if it is a person that I can interact with on a regular basis, I will work with them to hone that ability that I see in them. For example, there was a teacher recently who has been working to try to grow herself as a leader, and sometimes it just didn't work out. So I said, I'm going to help you. And there was one thing that stood out to me about her, and that was her ability to just be authentic. That's not easy for everyone. And so I used that ability in her to first name it and tell her, you are an authentic individual, and people will be drawn to that. There's a lot of things that are inauthentic now in the world, but that's not you. And that's a powerful thing. So keep being you, and we're going to use that to help other people. And so when I helped her work on her presentation that she did, it was through her authenticity that she was able to deliver it with less anxiety, not worrying so much about being perfect, not worrying so much about what other people were going to say or think. And we just focused on keeping it simple, keeping it straight to the point, easy to implement, so that she could just focus on that and just be herself. And it worked. The feedback was great. And she felt like she was successful because she was. So thinking about what people have to offer the world and telling them that you see it in them is huge to me. And it's a huge part of the way I choose to lead. When John C. Maxwell wrote the book, The 360-Degree Leader, it was something that I decided I should read. And so I listened to it on Audible, and one of the things that I have to do and be careful about when listening to books on Audible is if there's a part that really sticks out to me, especially if I'm in the car or driving or something, I'm going to have to re-listen to it because I know that there's something that I'm going to want to write down. So when I got back home, there was a part that I re-listened to, and it talked about leadership in the form of influence. It does not matter what your position is. You can influence someone. Influence is leadership. I'll say it again. Influence is leadership. When you are able to help other people move in a certain direction, when you're able to motivate them and make a certain decision, you have influence. And I know a lot of people that do it very well. And then there's a lot of people who have to work at it. And then there's some people who could do it very well, but they don't realize that they have the power to do it. We all can. So what is influence? The way that he broke it down, he was actually talking about leading up. Leading up as in, how do you influence the top executive in the company, in the organization? What would you have to do? The way I took it is you don't actually have to worry about influencing just the top executive. I think what he is on to, it works for anyone. I think it's leadership in general. You don't have to just focus on getting through to the top person. You can get through to your colleague, someone on your level. You can get through to someone that you're trying to grow. Either way, this works. So he broke down influence like this. I is for integrity. N is for nurturing. F is for faith. L is for listening. U is for understanding. E is for enlarging. N is for navigating. C is for connecting. And E is for empowering. So we're going to go through each one of these. I might have a little anecdote for a few of them, but we'll kind of dive into what he talked about and how each part of this lends itself to how you can be a leader, no matter what your position is. Okay, so integrity. He says integrity means that you're building relationships on trust. You are showing people that they can trust you. So integrity could be like, hey, yes, I'm going to do it this way. And then you actually do it. It can also be, I'm going to show up by 6:30 and you show up by 6:30. That is trust and integrity. So you can build a relationship by actually keeping your word. Do what you said you were going to do. Back when I was younger, I used to hear, in the hip hop songs that came on the radio, I would hear word is bond, word. Okay. Well, now that I'm older, your word is bond. What you say it carries a lot of weight, in my opinion. I am a words person. I tell people that all the time. You can do all kinds of things, but I tend to carefully listen to what you say, just because I think there's power in your words. I wouldn't be talking to you right now if I didn't believe that. So your word carries a lot of weight, and making sure you follow through on what you said you were going to do is important. That is how you build a relationship on trust. Okay. The next one is nurturing. You care about people as individuals. You can be working somewhere and think to yourself, oh, all of those people have that position. And all of those people have that position. Okay, but that person over there has something going on that you might want to learn more about, because it's probably affecting the way they're doing their job right now. Or it's probably affecting the way that they're feeling, which can either enhance or be a detriment to how they do their job. So you need to know what's going on. Go talk to them and find out what is happening. It's hard when you don't know the person well, like if you haven't known them for a long time. I'll be honest, I just started a new position, and it is not easy to get to know all the new people. It takes time. The position that I just left and the organization that I just left, it took years to get to a place where I felt like I knew people as individuals and that they knew me as an individual. Years. So I'm trying to give myself a little grace on that, because I know it's going to take some time. But you should too. Just have in the back of your mind, little by little, each and every day, go get to know someone better. My goal is to get to know at least 2 people a little better every day in this new role that I'm in this new organization. I've got to get to know people. Why? Because that is the organization. It's people. You cannot work in any industry that has to do with education, any organization that has to do with education, without getting to know people. It doesn't work. So it's important that I get to know the people with whom I work. All right. Then there is faith. It means, you can be thinking about, well, what is your religion? And Sarah, be careful, because you can't mix, religion with your job. You can't get too personal, because that's one thing that's off limits, like politics and religion. We're not going to go there. That's not what I'm talking about. Who you worship, how you worship is on you, right? What I'm talking about when I say faith, I mean, and John means believing in people, believing that they can. So when I told you that I was supporting that teacher in growing her as a leader so that she could learn to not be anxious and overly stressed when trying to deliver a presentation, I had to help her understand that I had faith in her. I believed in her. That is what I need from my leader, and that is what I want to be to anyone that views me as their leader, right? I believe in you. I need them to know that. So it's important that I convey that. I probably have to work on saying it. People don't always know what you think until you tell them what you think. There is a power in words. I cannot stress that enough. Oftentimes, as leaders, we think, well, they should know that I believe in them. Duh. No, that's not how that works. You'd be surprised how many people I have worked in many of organizations, and the leader affected the way that I did my job or the way that I felt about them as a leader. So if I didn't feel like my leadership believed in me, it really did affect how I performed, because I thought to myself, well, they don't think I could do it anyway. They don't think I'm going to do it. So, I mean, I'm going to do my job, but if it doesn't go well, then this is what they expected. And that is not the attitude one should have, right? Eventually, I grew up and my attitude changed to no matter what they say or don't say, I'm doing this well, always. But it took a lot of experience to get there. And it took a lot of headache and heartache and getting over confusion and getting out of my stubbornness to get there, to be able to say, I don't care what I feel or I feel is not being provided to me. The job that I am here to do, I will do well. And if that means I have to step out and go find the support that I need, I will do that. So that's what I mean by faith. Even if you don't have a leader that you feel has faith in you, you have to start believing in yourself. You can influence yourself. I have said it many a times. What you say to yourself matters. So even if you're like so focused on the fact that, I can't get through to, or people aren't getting through to me, or I don't feel like I can do this, try helping someone else. That usually gets you out of your funk. When you're like, it's all going so well. It's not going so well and I'm not able to do what I need to do. Focus on others. I promise you will feel better. Promise. Find a colleague, find a new teacher, go help them and tell them you believe in them. Gonna make a big difference, I promise. That's some leadership for you. The next one, L, listening. It means values what others have to say. So I always thought I was a good listener until I looked back at some situations and thought I could have done better. I could have done better at that. That means if you have a cell phone and you were using it before the person walked up, put it down. Put it away when they get there and look at them as they talk to you. Respond to what they're saying. Ask a question for clarification. Maybe even paraphrase what they're saying. Offer your opinion or an anecdote to match something, but show that you are listening. People need to know that you care and you value what they have to say, especially if you ask for feedback. And then they give feedback and you don't respond to any of it. Even if the response is, thank you for the feedback, but I'm unable to implement some of these things because at least you listened. At least you let them know that you heard them. That part. So also, if there is something that needs to be changed or that others want to be changed and you know for a fact that it can't be, don't ask for feedback. Don't even put it out there because that's a waste of time and it's annoying to people to say, "Hey, what do you think?" And what you provide to us will affect the way that we make the next move. When actuality, they've already made the next move. They're on to the next thing already. So no matter what you say, it's already done. That kind of thing prevents people from speaking up in the future because they don't feel like what they have to say is valued. Listening. You gotta listen. Okay, what about you for understanding? Understanding, it means you see it from their perspective. You don't have to agree with everything that people say. You don't have to agree with everybody's suggestion. True leadership means you just see it from their point of view. You just put yourself in their shoes. That's it. You don't have to agree. You just put yourself there. If you can do that, you can be a leader. That's part of it. Step back and say, now, let me think about what it was like when I was in the classroom. What would I have thought? What would I have done? How might I have responded to that? Okay, I can see where they're coming from. I get it. That's it. You don't have to necessarily agree that the decision they made was the best one, but you can agree that you can see it from their point of view. Leadership. Next thing is enlarging. Enlarging means you help others become bigger. That part was uncomfortable for me. In this past role, I had a supervisor. She's awesome. She knows who she is. I had a supervisor who would call people out and say the great things that they were doing. And that's cool, but it took some getting used to because in the past, that didn't happen. I just worked and worked real hard. And my name wasn't called very often, right? I didn't get a lot of kudos. I just put my head down and did the work. And some leaders might be like, great, love it. That's exactly what should happen. But I want to be more like the supervisor that I just had, in that I want to name and point out and be specific about the good things, the great work that people are doing, and say it in front of other people. Tell them. I do think it's important that you tell them face to face, one-on-one first, because then when it's said in front of other people, it doesn't feel performative. I'm not saying that that's something that I've experienced, but I am saying that I've read about it and I agree with it. I think that if you tell people personally how you feel about them in a positive way, as far as how they are making a difference in education and what they bring to the table can impact lives in a certain way, tell them one-on-one. Tell them first to their face with no one else around so that they can understand that you meant it and it came from you. It wasn't performative. Then later, when you say it in front of other people, it doesn't feel like it's just something that you said to make people go, oh, that was nice. What a great leader. No, I want you to know that what I said to you was from the heart and I meant it. So it doesn't matter who was around. You know what I think of you before we ever get in front of a large group. All right. Next. Before we move on, helps others become bigger. So That also means providing opportunities for growth and leadership. If you have the chance to lead, you should do it. I'm going to leave that right now because I'm going to leave that here because that is part of our tip of the week. So I'm going to get more into that when we get to that part of the episode. But just think about that. When there's an opportunity for you to get outside of your comfort zone, to grow a little bit, to lead a little more. All right. Navigating. Navigating is assisting others through difficulty. Lots of people do this, and sometimes they don't even realize it. Assisting others through difficulty can be tied to listening. Sometimes people just need an ear. Sometimes they just need to vent, and they need you to hear what they have to say. And so you listen, and that can be helping them navigate. Sometimes they actually do want your advice to help them get through something. I've started asking before I give advice because I know that not everybody is wanting that. So sometimes I'll say, all right, I'm listening. Do you want me to just listen or are you looking for advice? I will ask because I do not want to provide unsolicited advice. There are times when people don't want that and they didn't ask you for that. They just want you to hear what they have to say. Cool. I'm listening. Right? So, but navigating can also be a physical act, right? Let me show you, let me model for you how to do this. Let me explain why the way you did it could be improved by doing it this way. That's also navigating. So just helping others through something that is difficult. A lot of times it's known in education as coaching. Cool. Call it what you want, but navigating, especially in education, is important because we all need a little direction sometimes. Nobody knows exactly where to go all the time. Some of the best leaders I know network. They know who to call to get the right answer to solve the problem. That's leadership. They navigate themselves through the difficulty. Call somebody, not just anybody, that person, because they're likely to have the answer that you need. Good stuff. Connecting. C for connecting. Initiates positive relationships. That's not been easy. I had to work at this because I, by nature, was, to me, born an introvert. I don't talk to any and everybody. I do more of that now because I've just grown into it. But over the years, connecting was hard because I kept my head down and I just plunged through life. I just went and did what I needed to do. And then I went home. But there came a point where somebody said to me, there go those words again. Somebody said to me, hey, if you want to grow, you're going to have to start talking to people. You're going to have to get comfortable having conversations with people. Some of them you won't know. So you're going to have to learn how to connect. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I have to call them and like make small talk and laugh. Like it sounded at the time excruciating. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I like to mind my business. I like to just get in there, do my job, go home. That was what it was. But in this life, you really are going to have a hard time growing and leading from where you are if you refuse to connect. You have to connect with people. It's part of building those relationships. Gotta do it. It doesn't mean you get out there and you're just the life of the party, mingling with everybody. No. You start small. Talk to someone that's not on your team. Talk to someone that doesn't teach a subject that you are accustomed to teaching. Go connect with someone that you wouldn't normally connect with. Get outside of that comfort zone. Push yourself. If you're the type of person that's like, oh, no, that's the leader. I don't talk to the leader. Oh, no. I'm not really sure about her. What if she's like mean? Like, I don't really know her. Get to know her. Go talk. Go talk to them. Especially if y'all are in the same organization, y'all can work together. What's the worst that can happen? It's awkward. So you still got to come to the same building and you might be thinking, well, that's exactly why. That's exactly why I don't want to talk to them. I don't want it to be awkward. Then I got to come and look at them for the rest of these days. And they're going to be like, there's that awkward person that tried to talk to me. Who cares? Let them think that. Connect. Most of the time, even if it's awkward, you'll both end up laughing and talking about later the fact that it was super awkward and now you're friends. Try it. Just try it. I promise you'll survive. And the last one is empowering. Gives them the power to lead. So if you are giving people the power to lead, that means you have some sort of authority over them. Teachers, you can do this too. That means you have students in your class and you give them their little job and you empower them to do their little job. And by golly, they're going to do it. And they're going to be serious about it too. If I have never seen a child that was the line leader that didn't do it wonderfully. I saw the children they were up there and they were the line leader and they wanted to do it well. They needed everyone to see how well they led that line. They were going to do it. And everyone was going to notice, look at that leader. Look at that line leader. If you were the hand sanitizer person before lunch, I noticed that every child that had that job, that they did it. That hand sanitizer was going on there and they made sure everybody got their squirt. Perfect. Empower others to lead. Hey, we have our icebreaker for the staff meeting this month. Would you like to do it? We have just talked about influence. We talked about how you can lead from where you are by influencing others, no matter what your job title is. We also discussed the fact that leadership is more disposition than position. It doesn't matter what your title is. You can lead based on how you interact with people. You can do it. Your attitude and your actions matter. So let's get into that tip of the week. Which is answer the call. If you are asked to lead in any capacity, whether it be, I need you to be the chairperson of this committee. I need you to do the icebreaker for the upcoming staff meeting. I need you to build this spreadsheet that would help us understand these numbers better. Anything. Answer the call. Why? Because that is your stepping stone into more leadership roles. That icebreaker could turn into a whole section of PD in the future. And that whole section of PD could turn into more PD at the district level. You don't know, but you never will grow if you don't take the first step, the small one. You have to do that. So if you are asked to lead in any capacity, hey, can you get there and make sure that every chair has one of these little packets on it? Or, hey, can you be sure that we get the cookies out on time so that we can have the parents come in and just go right for the snacks and then have a seat so we could get started? Do it and do it well so that you can be trusted to continue to do it. Those that want to lead will do the little things well. I have been the leader of many different little things that led to bigger things, right? I led after school clubs. I was leading committees. I was writing PD. I was delivering PD. I didn't do it because I volunteered. I was asked to do the majority of those things. I was tapped. And the reason I was tapped is either because they saw something in me or I had made it known that I wanted to grow. I need you to hear me now. If you want to lead, you can. When the call comes, answer it. Don't say, hey, my phone's not ringing, and then it rings and you don't answer. Be careful. Keep that in mind. It might not be exactly what you want to do right now, but it is a stepping stone that will prove that you're ready for the thing that you want to do. Answer the call. All right. I hope that what we talked about today was helpful to you. I hope it was empowering. I hope that you can repeat these words and it will help you understand that you are a leader. Are you ready? Here we go. Repeat these words. I make an impact. Say it again. I make an impact. Be sure that you rediscover your joy, embrace your true self, and let them see you, leader. Thanks for listening to Let Them See You. Until next time, climb with courage, stand in the light, let them see you.